You're inside Brunch. I've got two distinguished gentlemen in here with me. Prostate cancer is the leading cancer mortality among men in Trinidad and Tobago. CIBC FirstCaribbean devoted this year's edition of its annual Walk for the Cure to raising awareness and funds for this critical issue. The event took place on Sunday 2nd at the Queen's Park, Savannah. And it is a great pleasure for me to have with me two gentlemen who are working to ensure that the message is carried out to everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, the urgency of dealing with screening. I'm joined by Anthony Seeraj, who's the Managing Director of CIBC FirstCaribbean's local operation. Good morning to you. How are you, Anthony?
Good morning, Rennie, and good morning to your listeners. I'm fine, thank you.
It is good to see you again. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And, of course, the other gentleman, who is amazing. We have known each other for many years. Do not say how many. And he's known as Pappy. Every musician knows him. Everybody knows him. But it's the first time I actually had the opportunity to have an interview with him. Pappy, Roy Cape, how are you, my brother?
All right, Rennie. It's my privilege, after so many years of hearing that wonderful voice of yours, I'm having an interview with you.
You see, that's why I should have had you on before. Roy Cape, thank you so much. Good to have you both here. Let me start with Anthony Seeraj. Anthony, give me the genesis of this initiative, this whole Walk for the Cure concept. Tell me about that, and tell me about CIBC's involvement in it.
Sure. So, Rennie, by way of history, about 15 years ago, the bank decided that it would start a foundation and it would donate a percentage of its net income after tax into this fund. This fund was used primarily to defer health or education, natural disasters, that sort of thing. But we found it was not so well aligned to our corporate social responsibility. So about 5 years ago, we decided that we're going to embark on this Walk for the Cure and raise proceeds to defer initiatives towards different forms of cancer. So this started in the Caribbean, 17 countries in which we operate, in 2005. We raised $30,000 US back in 2005 as a region. This year, we've raised in excess of $500,000 US dollars collectively as a bank.
That is fact.
Every year, we've chosen a different type of cancer to support, and this year, we've decided that we're going to go the way of prostate cancer. And we were fortunate to have Papi on board. He has, proven to be an invaluable ambassador, socializing his journey with the illness and creating the awareness and urging the male population to become screened. So what we've done this year, Rennie, is with the funds that we've raised, we've partnered with Vita's House and the local cancer society. So we decided that we know it's difficult economic times. We need to assist the males in getting screened. Economic hardship should not be a reason to die. So what we've done, the screening process involves two tests. It's the digital rectal examination and the PSA blood test. The cost of that is $300 TT. CIBC FirstCaribbean will underwrite 50% of that, or $150. Should the patient be, described, or the further test reveal that he needs to have a biopsy, and as determined by the Cancer Society, CIBC FirstCaribbean will underwrite 75% of the cost of the biopsy. The cost of a biopsy is $3,500, so we're going to underwrite $2,600 of that cost.
This is good.
This offer, Rennie, is valid until the 13th of December.
It's valid until December 13th.
Yeah, so we urge the male population, please take advantage of this opportunity, become screened.
You will cover up to 50% of the digital rectal examination
and the PSA.
And the PSA.
Yeah, so that's $150 out of $300.
And if?
Sorry?
Go ahead. And if?
And if they require biopsy as determined by the Cancer Society, then we will underwrite 75% of the cost of the biopsy. The cost of the biopsy is $3,500. CIBC FirstCaribbean will underwrite $2,600.
That is the voice you're hearing of Anthony Seeraj, who's the Managing Director. Anthony, just before we go further, is there a telephone number folks can get in? Those who would like to take advantage of this, is there a telephone number we can give them early?
I don't have the number, Rennie, but the Cancer Society has a toll-free number.
The Cancer Society?
Yeah, and via Facebook.
Okay, the Cancer Society toll-free number. We'll get that for you before we move on. Let us go to Pappy. Pappy, one of the things, and this is Roy Cape, the Roy Cape. Pappy, part of the thing that Anthony is talking about is what you, one, as being a man in Trinidad and Tobago, and two, being around all these ego-filled entertainers, go like, you're not pushing your hand up there. So one of the problems is getting the message across to them. It is all right to go and get this done. The Prime Minister stepped out and said, guys, come on, wake up. How much of a problem you think this is going to be getting men to take part in this, to see about their health meaningfully, even with such a wonderful incentive coming from this CIBC initiative?
Well, we are a little bit reluctant as men to have the basic tests. I have been doing this regularly through the years, and maybe I lapsed 1 year. And by the time I went in the next year, and doctor checked me, he got scared.
Yes.
He tried it again, and he said, "Roy, problems here." And he sent me to do the PSA test. So I would like to emphasize to the guys out there, fathers and sons and brothers, the test is so simple. There's no trauma, there's no pain, and it is very, very quick. And this can save your life.
It's almost ignorance, because I, like you, have been doing it. It is something that you must do. But what's instructive about what you just said is that you were doing it all the time and you missed one year.
Yeah.
And that 1 year is when... So we are trying now to get people to get involved in this. One of the things I am thinking that is difficult for you is not just to get them to understand the test is necessary, but the urgency attached to it. It is one thing to say, okay, I'll take the test, but getting them to do it right away. Give us a little bit about your journey after you were told, Roy, I got bad news for you. Give us a little bit about that journey, Roy Cape.
Well, I was aware how sensitive the subject, and cancer in any form is sensitive, serious business. So from the time I got that, I consulted with the doctors, and I put my hands on my life in the doctor's hand. I have to say special thanks to Dr. Andy Bagwandas, Dr. Winston Welch, Dr. Darren Bisoon, and Dr. Dylan Narayan Singh, and Dr. Bovell, who is the person who did all the work with me at the Brian Lara. So the normal thing, you have to do your PSA, you have to do biopsy, CT scan, bone scan, sometimes MRI. Sometimes you might even have to do the bone over a second time then. I had 42 sessions of radiation, and it is not something to scare you. There's no pain. The whole procedure, it's about 10 minutes. But you might spend 20 in the room where they put you on the bed and have to organize you for the machine to cover how they shoot in it.
Yes.
And
cover parts that guys are worried about. So don't worry about that. That's covered too. I just thought I'd mention that.
Well, I had said in a previous interview, men don't like hands go around that area.
Understood.
And we had our good Prime Minister tell us, don't be scared of the finger.
Grow up.
There's no pain. There's no discomfort. It's a very simple something. And as I said earlier on, this can determine whether you live or you die.
That is the voice of Pappy in almost the father-like role. He is usually in music because he has been around so long in it. But in this case, speaking something that I can feel that is part of your life. It's part of living. One time he missed. The telephone number, by the way, for the Cancer Society, we did mention a while ago, it's 622-6827. And that is toll-free, 622-6827. You give them a call and you try to take advantage of that. Continue with Poppy in just a moment. Let me go back to Anthony Seeraj, who is the managing director of CIBC First Caribbean. We cannot do this alone. It's always good to see when other organizations see the vision, like the vision of your organization, CIBC, and they're working with you. Tell us about some of those groups that are working with you, Anthony.
So in the past, we've had other local groups here, other cancer societies in the region. Sorry, Rennie, remember this is a regional initiative in the 17 countries in which we operate. We've done work in the past with other entities here, nursing homes, doctors who practice in the trade. You know, we've used funds to assist with maintaining equipment used in cancer treatment. So it's been a long journey over the last 5 years, but it's, as you said, it's part of our mission because we want to promote wellness in the 17 jurisdictions in which we conduct business.
One of the things that I'm going to throw this to both you and Pappy here is because men, we all agree, are quite pig-headed. How about if we found some initiative to incentivize the ladies to be part of a Ladies Take Your Man to the Doctor Day?
Excellent idea, and Papi made the point at the event on the 2nd of October. He made a salient comment that prostate cancer is not only a male issue.
That's right.
It's a girlfriend issue, a wife issue, a grandmother issue, a mother issue. So
that is quite right, Pappy, because that is the approach. You mean that they are all affected, the family is affected.
In serious respect, it can take away your complete manhood.
Yes.
Men, so this is very, very, very... We know that this part of the subject is very sensitive, but it can change your life forever. So it's to get to do the test, check your doctor every year, and whatever the doctor tells you, just follow him, and you can be saved.
The Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society is working along with you, Anthony. Information is always empowering. It's always good for folks to get that. And you were saying that they get all this counseling and so on at the Cancer Society.
correct, yeah.
All right.
And just for information, Rennie, Vitas House provides post-care at people who are, some of them on the way out, and Vitas House will take them in and, ensure that it's comfortable during that remaining period. So, so we've contributed towards that cause as well.
Papi, do you have a lot of entertainers who are coming because as a consequence of what you experienced and went through, you have many other entertainers who are coming together with you, willing to do something to get this message out?
Well, I have not been on that level, but I know personally quite a few people who went through the same procedure as me. I'd like to add, when I went in, I was 49.6, which on the paper was high risk. I am now down to 0.1. But I have to take an injection every 3 months for the next 3 years. So fellas, well, hear this. From the time you miss that spot, it makes it more difficult. So as early you can recognize this and you go to the doctor, it's a saline process. I have never had any pains from the treatment. Again, I want to say thanks to the people at the St. James Medical Complex because they have their hands filled there. The people at the Brian Lara Cancer also, they're doing a wonderful job there.
You keep emphasizing a couple of things, and I'm happy that you are. That it's paying less, that it is all right to be touched down there. It's because these are really the prohibitive areas that keep a lot of men from going to the doctor. I mean, we're supposed to be able to take pain, and we ain't too good at that. Who said that? I got all the guys inside of here agreeing because we're not too good at that, and that is important for folks to understand that it will take you 20 minutes. It is pain-free.
Free. Yeah.
And if you do your checkup all the time, and if you've never done it, now is the time to go and do it. You mentioned there is a window for folks to take advantage of what is being offered from CIBC. The window is only because of the cost of actually extending this courtesy?
Yes, and it's also a push factor. If we think if it's time driven, the guys should respond and try to get in before that time elapses. So that was deliberate.
I think it's a very great initiative. I'm very happy that you both are going around sharing this message. And anything we can do, of course, know that we are here to assist. Go ahead, Papi.
I want to say special thanks to CIBC for having me on as one of their spokesmen.
Yes.
They raise funds. And I was asked if I have an input or if I deal with any charitable organization. As I'm on the radio today, I would say I've just done the Roy Cape Foundation, which is a different thing on my music program, which I plan to do through the country. So I explained them that I deal with feel,
What the FEEL is the Foundation for Enhancement and Enrichment of Life.
Yes. I deal with FEEL, and FEEL is an organization that deals with poor people across the board. So I wanted a hospital bed, and when I find out the price of it, it was 12 grand, and I went to FEEL, and I got that. I've been getting instruments from them. I have just made a donation at Desperados with 43 pieces of instruments. I did that at St. James Police Youth Club, and right now I'm concentrating on the Oropone Youth Club, which is where I reside in. But my plans are to go all over the country. So I'm just saying this to emphasize that the people don't know the work that FEEL is doing in Trinidad.
Yes, yes.
Every 3 months or 2 months, containers of food, clothing, medicine, things that poor people cannot afford to buy.
That's your foundation, yes.
Yes. So I'm also a member of FEEL. So,
and I know that CIBC, they've made a contribution to FEEL. Tell us about that, please, Anthony.
So this was really targeted towards Papi, and Papi opted to have these funds donated to FEEL. So we willingly obliged.
All right.
And that amount
go ahead.
was $6,450.
It is a wonderful initiative, and I am very, very glad that you folks, both of you, took time to come in this morning. This gentleman, watch him, Papi, because I've been told that he's a guitarist of some proficiency.
A guitarist, right?
Yes, I've been told that he's a guitarist of some proficiency, so watch for him now. We may see him on Steve. The managing director of CIBC FirstCaribbean Local Operations, Anthony Seeraj, and of course, Papi, the man, Roy Cape, who everyone in Trinidad and Tobago must already know. Love the fact that you've teamed up for this, both of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning.
Thank you, Rennie, and thanks to 107.7.
Have yourself a wonderful day. Yes, Papi, you wanted to say something in there?
Yes. I'm so happy that Tony see it fit to encourage you to come back home and spend some love with us.
You're talking about Tony Chow. Okay, I got you. Yeah, don't worry. Anthony took Anthony to task on that already. And as Tony said, why do y'all make it sound as though it's such an easy thing? I already have a cancer to walk with this man. Hey, guys, thank you all so much. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Rennie.